There's a place in southeastern Massachusetts where reality seems to bend, where the forests whisper, roads twist into legends, and shadows cling to the edge of your vision. It's not just one haunted house or a cursed stretch of land, it's an entire region, pulsing with unexplained energy and chilling encounters. For decades, this place has drawn in the curious, the brave, and the terrified. Many leave with stories they can't explain. Some never leave at all. This is the Bridgewater Triangle, and tonight we're stepping straight into the dark and mysterious. Hey everyone, today we're exploring a few of the eeriest locations inside the Bridgewater Triangle, from an abandoned mental asylum to a haunted highway. These are stories that mix history, horror, and the unknown. Let's dive in. Known as the Bridgewater Triangle, this 200 square mile zone was first named by cryptozoologist Lauren Coleman, and it stretches roughly from Abington to Rehoboth to Freetown. Within this mysterious area, countless reports of paranormal activity have emerged. Ghostly apparitions, UFOs, thunderbirds, Bigfoot sightings, satanic rituals, and even ancient Native American curses. Taunton State Hospital was constructed in 1854 and became one of the earliest mental hospital institutions in Massachusetts. It was originally designed as a therapeutic sanctuary, part of the Kirkbride Plan, a progressive 19th century approach that emphasized moral treatment and architectural beauty. Patients were often subjected to primitive and harsh treatments, isolation, electroshock therapy, and lobotomies, to name a few. Especially during the early to mid 20th century, the trauma left behind lingers. Over the years, numerous reports of paranormal activity have surfaced. Visitors and former staff have described shadowy figures gliding down the hallways, disembodied whispers, and the feeling of being watched. Some of the most disturbing accounts mention shadows that crawl along the ceilings or walls, jerking unnaturally or clinging in ways that defy explanation. One chilling story from a former night nurse described waking up to see a figure suspended upside down above her bed, vanishing the moment she turned on the lights. Other reports physically being touched or hearing footsteps echoes in otherwise empty corridors. The hospital's underground tunnels, once used to transport patients discreetly, are now sealed, but many believe they're still active in the spiritual sense. Paranormal investigators have claimed that certain areas within the hospital spike with electromagnetic reading and temperature drops, classic hallmarks of hauntings. Although much of the Taunton State Hospital was closed by the mid-1970s, part of the campus remained in use by the Department of Mental Health. The original Kirkbride building, however, sits abandoned, crumbling, graffiti-covered, and fenced off. Now let's talk about Route 44 and the infamous red-headed hitchhiker. Since at least the 1960s, drivers have reported seeing a man standing along the road near Rehoboth, disheveled red hair, a flannel shirt, and an unsettling grin. Some slow down to help, but when they do, he vanishes. Others claim he suddenly appears in the back seat, and a few say he mocks them, laughing from shadows as they speed away. One woman said her radio began to screech with static, and a voice whispered her name just before she saw him. Skeptics argue just a ghost story, but the sheer number of sightings across decades suggests something lingers on that lonely stretch of road. Hockomock Swamp, 16,000 acres of wetland that had long been considered sacred and cursed. The Wampanoag people called it the place where spirit dwells, and to this day, strange lights, animal mutilations, and cryptid sightings are reported there. It's also ground zero for many Bridgewater Triangle phenomena: UFOs, thunderbirds, Bigfoot-like creatures, and even a ghostly phantom bear. In the 1970s, several local officers reported seeing red glowing orbs hovering over the swamp. Some said the air would go completely still before the lights appeared. In 1984, a local man hunting a deer claimed he encountered a tall, hairy creature with red eyes, and that it let out a high-pitched scream before vanishing into the brush. The swamp also holds archaeological significance. Artifacts and burial grounds have been discovered there, some dating back thousands of years. Many believe disturbing this land may have unleashed a strange energy associated with it today. There are even stories of poltergeist-like activity, objects moving on their own, ghostly footsteps, and strange voices echoing from the deep within the reeds. For many locals, the swamp isn't just spooky, it's avoided. Too many people have gone missing or encountered something they couldn't explain. Freetown State Forest is dark, dense, and full of legends, but one case stands out above all: the Carl Drew murders. In the late 1970s and early 80s, several brutal killings occurred here, with reports of ritualistic behavior, animal sacrifices, and satanic worship. Carl Drew, a pimp from Fall River, was convicted of leading a cult that murdered a young woman named Karen Marston. Marston had allegedly witnessed a previous murder by the cult and became terrified she would be next. According to the court records and witness testimony, Drew and his associates kidnapped her, dragged her into the woods of the Freetown State Forest, and performed a terrifying ritual. Marston was reportedly forced to renounce God, beaten, her hair torn out, and her neck broken. Her fingers were severed, and her head was crushed with a rock. Some witnesses claim her blood was used in an offering to Satan. One of the witnesses, Robin Murphy, gave a detailed testimony that helped convict Drew, though her credibility has been questioned over the years. Some believe she may have been more involved than she admitted. The case was part of a broader satanic panic era, when fear of ritualistic cults gripped the nation. While some aspects of the case may have been exaggerated, there's no denying the brutality of what occurred. Beyond the Carl Drew case, Freetown State Forest has a history of strange occurrences, including suicides, reports of ghostly apparitions, and people claiming to be followed by shadowy figures. Locals speak of hearing drums deep within the woods, seeing strange symbols etched into the trees, and encountering animals mutilated in ritualistic patterns. Despite its beauty, the forest is cloaked in a chilling energy that has earned it a reputation as one of the most haunted places in New England. The Bridgewater Triangle remains one of America's strangest regions, a place where legends live and fear lingers. Whether it's cursed land, mass hysteria, or something else entirely, no one can deny that something is going on. So next time you're driving through southeastern Massachusetts, keep an eye on the road and your mind open. You never know what's out there. If you enjoyed this journey into the dark and mysterious, be sure to leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and down below comment if you've ever been to the Bridgewater Triangle. If not, be sure to leave any eerie tales that you may have. See you in the next one.